Welcome back. So this lesson we want to try to add a logout function so we can actually also log out. We just got the login up and running. We could actually at least see some kind of user when we logged in. Let me just try and show you guys. So here's the user coming up as soon as I log in. He's returned right here with the promise so that when I'm logged in, then call and show the user. We did that last lesson, so that's perfect. Jumping into the auth service now, I want to create a new function called logout because I want to kind of show you guys something funny slash scary that we are going to face with promises and any type of async calls. So let's just try and make a simple logout right here. There's nothing new. We'll just call the same function like up here, call the auth, and then on that one we can call sign out, and that's pretty much all we had to do. We return that value, and that's actually a promise of the type, right now it's of the type any. If you didn't get the type any yet, it pretty much just means it can be anything. I don't care what it is. I'm not type safe right now, but that's kind of the power of TypeScript, so later we'll add an object or an interface so that we can be more type safe. But for now we don't care, we're just going to return anything in the promise because we just want to call the login and the logout, and then we just want to be told that we actually succeeded or we didn't succeed. So sweet, we're done with this. Let's try and actually jump into our login component right here. So now let's change, instead of actually when we log in, instead of saying we want to console log the user, let's just ignore what we return and then just console log logged in like this. There we go. So now it says that we are logged in, and this is the way to ignore whatever is coming back. So instead of actually getting something back, I just kind of do a void. I don't care what you return. I just want to use the then keyword or the promise to do something, but I don't care what the value returned to me is all about. So we're kind of saying when we're logged in now, we'll just get a message of logged in, and that works. Sweet. Let's call the logout. And now you guys should now pause the video and consider the following. When I call this logout function, right, will that be called, will I see the logout first or will I see the login first, right? So when I'm doing the same thing here, notice I'm doing exactly the same thing. First I'll call the login function, then I'll call the logout function. Now this is going to happen synchronously, meaning that call, right? And then at some point these guys will return and call the then or the catch later on, both of them. But which one do you think will be shown first? The login or the logout? Which message will be shown first? So let's have a look which one actually showed up first. It actually showed up the logout first. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, it pretty much means that I'm not sure if I'm logged in or logged out right now. I don't know. I have no clue. I could be logged in, I could be logged out. I expect right now that I'm actually logged in. But I wanted to log out because that's kind of what I said in the flow, right? I said log in, then the flow said log out. So I know this is a horrible use case, but it shows you exactly the promise with asynchronous calls. I don't know which one comes first. This one could come first, but this one could also happen first. So I don't know right now. I'm lost. I don't know if I'm logged in or logged out. What should I do if I wanted to make absolutely sure that even though I called the login, when I was done executing these lines, I was 100% sure that I was actually logged out? The way to solve that is to add the logout inside the login. So if I wanted to be 100% sure that I actually logged out after I logged in, again, it's stupid to do that. But if I wanted to be 100% sure that that could actually happen in that direction, I would have to actually go in here and add the logout after I was sure that the login was done. Then I would be 100% sure that I was logged out. So it's all about flow with asynchronous method. Notice right here, with asynchronous methods, you have to consider you don't know when you're getting an answer back. You don't know. So you have to wait until the login is done. It says, I am done, then what do you want to do? Well, then I want to kind of console log login, and then I want to log out. When you're done logging out, what do you want to do? Then I want to do a logout, right? So you have to know this. You have to understand that asynchronous call, you do not have the power of telling who's coming back first. You have to consider logging in, logging out in this case. This guy might be the fastest one, but this guy might also be the fastest one, which is actually the case right now. So the old code would fail. If you expected that you would be logged out right here, that would actually fail. You would actually be logged in. Just wanted you guys to know that. See you in the next lesson. Have fun.